Hello, and welcome to Tam Talks. This is where we share our experiences and unpack what they have to offer. And I am again with my bestie Elizabeth Provoking, and we have some special stuff to share with you because we've had a very impactful summer. So before I get started, I want to share with you a video if I can actually find it again because I just had it up, and of course we're
It's there somewhere.
It is okay. Hold on. So I had it on the tube of you. Here it is. Okay, so watch this.
We all grew up and experienced to varying degrees trauma, disappointment, how hard stuff. We armored up, and at some point, that armor no longer serves us. The weight of the armor is too heavy, and it's not protecting you, it's keeping you from being seen and known by others. This is the developmental milestone of midlife. This is when the universe comes down, puts her hands on your shoulders, and pulls you close and whispers in your ear, I'm not fucking around. You're halfway to dead. The armor is keeping you from growing into the gifts I've given you. That is not without penalty. Time is up. So this is what you see happen to people in midlife. And it's not a crisis. It's a slow, brutal unraveling. This is where everything that we thought protected us keeps us from being the partners, the parents, the professionals, the people that we want to be.
That's a lot.
That's the video of the year.
It's the video of our summer, right? It's
Absolutely.
the video of our summer. So we're at Beth's cottage again, where all the good things happen.
Yeah.
And it is the end of summer. In fact, it's October, and it's super hot. So we're sweltering here in her porch, but we're under a fan, and we're happy to be here, and we're happy to share, because this summer was a big one for the two of us, both individually and collectively. So I touched upon the fact that right now we're getting back into winter activities. So for myself, I'm a curler, and I see a lot of my curling friends. And well, you see a lot of people you haven't seen all summer anyway, right? Because you're just getting back into activities. And the question is, how was your summer? So I smile and I say, you know what, my summer was great. Like it was fine. And for a lot of it, it truly was. But then for some of it, it wasn't great at all. Okay.
This is the topic of discussion.
Yeah. I mean, and this started June. This started June for us. So we both lost our dads this summer, which, you know, it was not a Norman Rockwell type situation, but I mean, losing a parent is losing a parent, and with that comes various amounts of grief and stuff that you need to unpack, and we've been doing that. So that started us down our path of breaking open in early June. So what Brene,
to the point of the video that we just shared.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and here we are 5 months later, and we're still trying to figure it out. So we had a trip together to Naples, to Beth's house in Naples in early June, that kind of went askew. So it was radically different than what we had expected. We got through it. And as we roll, we sat back and discussed the lessons and the learning that experience granted us, because it granted us a lot. I mean, we really went in with different expectations and kind of walked away going, and it was maybe because we're so close and we were bearing witness on a bunch of shit from one another, right?
Yeah.
As we do.
Yeah.
And then we, went, well, okay, well, everything happens for a reason. What does this mean? So,
and as much as we want to trip over those words, that everything happens for a reason, Tam and I are just really big supporters of it. And see my face, it just means that you have to do the work. You have to do the work and figure out why that
we
happened.
choose to do the work.
And
there's not a lot of people that oftentimes do the work.
Have to is not the right word.
Right.
We choose to do the work.
Right.
Because if you're going to ascribe to the statement that everything happens for a reason, then you better walk that talk. You better walk that talk. Yeah. And as much as you want to go, no, thank you, today.
No, not today.
Not today.
Yeah.
Some days yes, some days no. That's not the way it rolls.
No.
Go ahead.
So here we sit in our happy place, almost 8 weeks after this one, had a very eventful trip and fall in the same place where our journey began in early June. she cracked herself open. And when I say she cracked herself open, I mean she literally cracked herself open. And not only for herself, but I feel like she cracked herself open for me as well. So let's talk about that fateful day
Mm-hmm.
when shit got real for you.
Shit got real for me, and I can still teary-eyed talking about it, and it very much coincides with the Brene Brown piece that Tam shared with you at the beginning of this conversation. So I literally tripped over my carry-on bag and my handbag on my way with my husband to a flight to come home to Canada. And I cracked open that armor that Brene Brown talks about. Great big huge. I'm not going to belabor the medical part of everything, but I've got 2 nice little titanium pieces in my shoulder and 36 screws that brought that all back together for me. Not lost on me, because I was going to do this work that you and I talk about. We are going to unpack this. Well, one of the first people I call, husband was with me, so he witnessed the whole thing, is I call Tamara. And therefore started the journey of I literally cracked myself open. So Brene Brown was metaphorically talking
Right.
about breaking herself open. I actually literally broke myself open. And remind me, Tam, around the timing of that video, because remember we both saw the video within a few hours of each other.
It was Beth had called me and she said, someone shared with me this video from Brene Brown, and I went, you want to check your inbox? Because I just sent it to you this morning at 7 a.m. while I was having coffee. And it was the same thing. So it came to us at the same time, and I'm going, okay, ding, 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 ding.
Mm-hmm.
This obviously has some meaning for both of us. Now, clearly, I don't have the physical scar. I don't have the physical pain of what you've gone through. But, how was your summer? My summer had really shitty moments.
Yeah.
Like it was deep and dark, and I was trying to figure stuff out. And that trip that we took, seriously thought it was going to look completely different than it did. And because I adhered to the everything happens for a reason thing, I'm going, okay, there's got to be something more. And as I said, maybe it was for us to bear witness to one another having these moments. But that whole halfway to dead, I'm going,
yeah,
you're freaking right. We're halfway to dead. When people say, oh my God, you're so brave for putting yourself out there on a YouTube video, I'm going, huh? What do I have to lose? Like, seriously, I've been talking about this for 12 years.
Yeah.
What the hell? And for you personally, yours wasn't about putting yourself out there, but it certainly was about honoring your creative path.
Yeah.
And looking at the obstacles that were in the way and what you were choosing.
Right. So when I look, but sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you,
ahead.
but the Brene, part of the Brene Brown thing was that, I'm paraphrasing, but she was basically saying eventually that armor just becomes too much for you to bear.
It is. It's
too much
heavy.
to bear, too much to bear. And that was my very big part around the break, is that I realized that I just didn't want that. It's not a facade, because I'm still very much me and I'm very real.
Right.
But I was never a facade for people.
No, you're not.
I'm not a Hollywood starlet who looks one way and is really another. I'm very much the way that I am. But there were elements of it coming up to this stage and phase of my life that was just too much armor. Interesting to me, though, that I'm the one that has to crack open the arm to make it happen. Well, that's okay. It's okay only because I'm going to do the work. Tam and I are going to do the work. We're sharing this work with everybody who's interested in learning about the work, and we can delve into that more and more if we need to. But
perhaps nobody else has to go and fall over a bag.
Correct.
And crack. And I mean, she had a contusion, right? Left contusion on her head. She was all various shades of purple for 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I mean, your bruising has just gone away. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Interesting how when you're not paying attention to some of the things, or thinking that you're paying attention and not entirely paying attention, the universe will serve you up something that makes you go, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
yeah.
That thing,
That thing.
not so much.
That thing. And that's,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
this is a good time for a
Yeah.
segue into that. So I'm a prolific journaler, as is Tamara. But this is this is my normal journal, what I call my normal journal. I write in it every day. I write my thoughts, my feelings, my blah blah blah. Cool, very cool. And then the incident happened, and I started a new journal. And this is all journaling around the lessons that are necessary for me slash Tamara slash any of you who want to get. I'm here to share any of the lessons around why this might happen. And I should have done this, Tam, before we got on camera, because there's a really good. Oh, here we go. See, I found it right now. I saw a quote recently that said, I had to make you uncomfortable. Otherwise, you wouldn't have moved. I love you, the universe.
Mm. And that's often the way it
And
goes,
I guess I
right?
wasn't ready. If I'm willing to walk the talk, then I had to be made uncomfortable.
Oh,
Kind of a little
well,
shitty package, but I
like
like I'm
uber
not.
uncomfortable, and not only uber uncomfortable for you in terms of your pain and the surgery and the medications and the flight home with that pain, all of that. Your daughter came home and son-in-law came home from England early to look after you. I was up and running, your husband
Mm-hmm.
obviously, your son obviously. Everybody was rallying around, and so not only were you in pain, you had to stop.
Like literally stop.
Yeah.
And I had to learn, left side is the receiving side, to receive care. I literally all, I had slinged up here and drugs and the whole bit. I had to literally ask for help. Oh, that is incredibly difficult for
Sure
someone
it
like me,
is.
because what do? I serve people.
Right.
I don't
Right.
receive much.
Right.
Some self-care, I'm pretty good at self-care, but this just required a rallying of
All the troops.
all the troops,
Yeah.
all the
To
troops.
come in
And
and
in the end, it's not the end because we're not finished yet, but I kind of sort of like the pace a little bit better, a little bit more self-care, a little more take it easy,
a
just
little bit more creative.
a little. Oh yes,
Yeah, like
yeah,
a
my
little bit
painting is
more.
ramped up, or my
You're
writing, and
diving
yeah.
into more of your creative space, whereas before, as we do, as you guys have known from this journey of mine, that you just put it on the back burner. You go, oh yeah, I'll get to it. I'll
Yeah.
get to it. I'll get to it. And then I'm watching this one crack open quite literally, and I had a couple of very tearful days where I felt that weight, but I didn't feel the weight. Like I didn't fall down. I didn't get hurt, but I felt the weight for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a few very weepy days where I just felt like I was crashing. So,
What is
how
that? What did that look like for you? I know, I mean, it sounds like I know what it looked like for you, but what was the underlying bubbling of?
ineptness,
Oh, okay,
right?
cool.
Because I should have this all. I'm 58 years old. I should have this shit figured out by
Oh,
now, right?
gotcha.
I'm walking the talk. I, I'm walking the walk.
Walking the talk. I
No,
think
no,
it's
no.
walking the talk. You walk the way you talk.
I
So
walk the way I talk.
talk, yeah.
So I do that. So you would think that, you have it all sorted, but you don't, because there's always another level. And we always say that. It's like the freaking onion, right? You're peeling back the
Yeah.
onion one layer at a time, and another one comes and another one comes. And I think oftentimes when you're trying to step into another part of your life, when you're actually going, you know what, okay, so there's the highway, but this side road is really where I want to go. Like, I just want
Yeah.
to explore that a little bit, that we'll stay on the highway and we won't take that cutoff. And I think that's what a lot of people are finding right now is that, you know, you need to take the exit
Mm-hmm.
and merge onto the side road and go down that path, because you're halfway to dead.
Yeah.
And a lot of us need to be filled up by something more than raising our children, for something more than having a job for the last 40 years, for something more than the life that we've already had, because we're getting not near the end, but we're, getting near the end.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
getting closer to
Yeah.
the end. We're seeing that. We're seeing our friends die. We're seeing our parents die. People are getting sick. So, I mean, now's the time. There's no putting this off anymore, in my opinion.
And if I look back, I think about you, knowing you the way that I know you for the last 12 years thinking you're going to do something. And again, we'll go back to my journaling. If I go back 8 years, like 10 years, and blah, 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 why are this is the day I'm going to start something. This is the day I'm going to start something. This is the day I'm going to start something. Or this is the phase. And then you do it for a little bit and then you stop doing it.
Yeah.
And I think you and I have just come to a very keen understanding from in here, not
Right.
from what's coming out of our mouths, not
Right.
what's coming into our heads. Is we're coming to a very keen understanding that, we'll use her words again, that halfway to dead thing. I'm not a fan of that one.
I know. You know what?
But it's all right.
I'm not necessarily a fan of it either, but it's impactful.
Yeah, it is impactful.
Because when you think about it, she's not wrong.
No, she's
we're
not.
lucky if we're halfway to dead,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like at
Yeah.
58, if I'm
Yeah.
halfway to dead, well then, have at it.
Yeah.
But
And then it reminds me of something else that, here comes Georgia. there's our Tam's dog, Georgia. Tam and Rob's dog.
Okay, sweetie.
Yeah.
Go on.
I forget where I was going with that, but that's okay, Georgia.
Being halfway to dead.
Sorry?
Just don't squish your head when you go back. Okay, come on, out. Go on. Oh dear. Sorry, peeps.
That's all right. Georgia.
She loves her Auntie
baby.
Beth,
Yeah,
and you
she
can't
does.
come up.
She can't come up because of my
Because
shoulder.
she's broken. Georgie, no. Go on. I know you love her, but go on. Oh boy.
That's okay.
All
There,
right.
she's good.
Okay, just
She's
watch your
good.
chair.
So what were we talking about there, Tam?
Being halfway to dead.
Oh, being halfway to dead. And a little bit of that understanding, a little bit more, another bit of a cliche that it's never too late to get started, or it's never too late to change anything. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Sorry. See, I went all over the place and I come back.
Kind of interrupted.
Because one of our phrases that you and I believe, were taught wasn't a good spiritually grounded phrase back in the day, but things changed, thank goodness,
I know where you're going.
is the I don't care. Right? So Tam and I more and more say, I don't care. I don't care. Well, 20 years ago, when we were still on this spiritual journey, we thought the universe was kind of actually literally thinking to what we're saying. Like, I don't care, so they're going to give you things not to care about. I don't believe that any longer. I understand why we believed it back in the day. I do. Everything's evolving. Spirituality is evolving. Yeah. But when you're able to, and you're really good at this, way better at it than I am, to dig deep, like almost instantaneously, and say, I don't care. I'm a little more like, I don't know if I care. Maybe I better think about it. Maybe I better journal about it. Maybe I better listen to some music. Maybe I better have another sip of wine because I'm not sure if I care. That's kind of what's going on in my fray. But this one, when you say I don't care, when I can't count how many times I admire you so much for this, is you get invitations. You and your partner are very social people, especially you.
Yes.
Social people. And then you'll say, I was invited to so-and-so's 60th birthday party. Oh, are you going to go? No, I don't want to go. I don't care. I'm not going. I'm like, oh my God. Don't you have to think about it? Don't you have to look at your calendar? Don't you have to decide whether this friend
Don't
is...
you have to make an excuse?
Don't you have to say, I can't make it because it's my daughter's birthday? Well, no. You can just... I learned that from Oprah Winfrey many, many years ago too.
Yes, I have a commitment.
I have a commitment, and keep your mouth shut. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
So that's part of the...
And just for the fact, anybody out there, if you had a 60th birthday, I would probably come.
You would come.
But I have
people are going to go, I invited her and she didn't come.
I mostly go.
It's more
but I do have, is it a disattachment, a non-attachment,
disassociation, maybe?
A disassociation. There's some stuff where, and that's what happened this summer. I was, part and parcel of myself being cut open, was actually going, I can't do that. I can't go and put on a happy face and go do this. Like, I'm Little Miss Social. I'm Little Miss Butterfly. Hello. And I was so selective on where I spent my time and where I spent my energy, because I just didn't have it. It was so hard for me because I was feeling pretty glum.
Yeah, and you had lots of naps.
I had a lot of naps.
Lots of crochet time, because she's a prolific crocheter. You should see her work. She's amazing.
Yeah, that's my happy place.
And you're quite willing to give yourself permission to nap and to crochet, even though maybe that little laundry could get done, or maybe you should run to the grocery store, or maybe. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Right. I did put some stuff on the back burner.
Yeah.
And, there's probably some people that were a little unhappy with me because I did say no to some social stuff, but I said yes to some social stuff as well. I just picked my spots, and
And doesn't it feel better now? It
well, it
just
felt a
makes you
little
go,
bit more
oh,
balanced.
yeah.
Although the interesting part is that when people are saying, "How's your summer? How was your summer?" I'm
Oh,
going,
you have
"Yeah,
to.
it was great." And I, because what do you want to do? It's like when people, the old thing, "Hey, how are you?" "Oh,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
fine."
fine.
Because otherwise you're going, "Oh, you know what? I got a hangnail and I got, an ingrown hair in my nose and I got this, that." Nobody wants to hear that,
Right.
right? So you
Right.
just go, "Oh no, I'm good. Thank you." And that's how I am with, "How was your summer?" Well, my summer was good. I have no reason to say it wasn't good. I just, for me, emotionally and spiritually, it was a bit of a grind. It was
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a grind.
Yeah, I agree.
So I wonder who else out there had the same experience, because we can travel, it can still be a grind. We can go to a cottage, it can still be a grind.
Right.
Not everything is wrapped up in freaking um, rainbows. And okay, my life pretty much is, because you know that's me, Tammy Land. It is all ponies and rainbows, but not all the time, apparently, is what I'm saying. So yes, you can go through the motions, and then at the end of the day, when you're quiet, you can feel a little bit sad and a little bit glum. And we've had these moments all summer,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you're up. That's a good way to put it. A
yeah.
little bit sad, a little bit glum, and allow them to be.
And just to also, that to that point, is that we're not alone in
No.
that thinking. Like,
No.
there's been a lot of people that have been doing the exact same thing. So if you're out there, know that you're not alone, because we're right there with you. It's been a bit of a journey. Am I grateful as hell that this one's okay? And am I grateful as hell that I don't have to drive her around anymore? Well, there's
I'm
that.
grateful for this one as well. You don't get friends like this of 30 years
Ugh,
that don't drop everything to come and
I
help you
can't
out when you
freaking
need.
unsee what I've seen with this child. Anyway, no, it's good.
Yeah, it is.
It
It
is.
is.
There's
We're
a
finding the blessings. There are shitty pieces for sure, and we're choosing to open the bigger package and the bigger package and the bigger package to the
and I'm gonna
blessings.
have you start opening cans with your shoulder, because she's got some really major plates in
I
there.
got lots of titanium in there, folks.
Yeah, it's
Lots of
very, very
titanium.
strong. Anyway, that is the journey of Beth and
Yes.
Tam over the last 5 months, and it's been a journey. As much as we laugh about it, we've cried about it, we wrote about it, we did all the things
And we
about it.
bitched about it.
Oh God.
I have bitch face. My bitch face is alive and well.
Oh, that's one thing that kind of came out, wasn't it?
That was the
Little
bitch
Miss
face
Sunshine was not Little Miss Sunshine all the
all
time.
the time.
I've never seen her be so bitchy in my entire life.
Well,
And I've known her for a lot of years. But having where we were in June to where you are now, you're far more honest. You're far more in the moment. And I guess honest is the big one.
mm-hmm.
And you're saying what you feel.
I'm saying what I feel, and so
And
this
that's
is.
new.
It is new.
Yeah.
It's super super new. I wouldn't sit here a year ago
No.
with you being this real and raw and honest. I just choose to now because of all the experiences
Right.
that I've had, that you and I have had together, that you've had. It's the why the hell not thing.
Right.
Really, I
Exactly.
don't have any other. I
'Cause
don't
you
have
know what?
anything else.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't
just
care.
don't care anymore.
I don't
It is what
care.
it is. And then on the upside, if somebody else is sitting there going, "Oh my God, someone asked me how my summer was and it was kind of shit," well, you're not alone. Because you know
Yeah.
what? We had shit moments too. And we live, I would think, a very privileged life.
Oh yeah, it's
You know,
lovely.
like there's nothing wrong. It's just when you're doing your work and when you're tapped into all the universe has to provide, sometimes you just have those days that are crap,
Mm-hmm.
or those weeks or those months. And sometimes you fall over and hurt yourself. And sometimes you lie in bed and cry for 3 days.
Yeah,
that happens too.
that happens too.
Hello,
That's
over
the
here.
transparency part.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's a really big core of what your Tam Talks are all about, is just the transparency and the reality of all of it.
100%.
The reality
Yeah.
of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Great lessons.
Good
Continue.
lessons. Yep,
Good
for
lessons.
sure. So it's another one in the can, my dear.
I love it.
I love it
I
too.
loved it.
Thank you for being open and sharing.
My
I appreciate
pleasure.
that. Thank you for not, thank you for, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but I appreciate that. I appreciate the changes that I've seen and the growth that we've shared and the growth that you've had. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but there is a flip side. It's
There
not.
is a flip side. That's
There's
right.
a flip
That's
side,
right.
and you kind of crossed over a bridge, and now there's no going back.
There's no going back.
Right? It's like, I
You
don't know.
can't unsee it. You can't undo
You
it.
can't undo it. And also, like, what was the Matrix? You took the blue pill, so now
Yeah,
you
so
can't,
to have
or
the
the
red
red
pill.
pill, or whatever, whichever pill it
One of
was.
those pills.
You
Yeah.
took a pill,
Yep.
and now there's no going back.
There's no going back.
Well, I guess there could be. You could just say, "Oh yeah, I fell and I hit my head and I cracked open my shoulder, and life goes on," and you could go back to where you were.
Mm-hmm.
But you're choosing not
No,
to
I
do
choose
that.
not to do that.
So
This is important stuff. This is important work.
I
This
think
is
so.
important work.
I think
It's
so.
necessary work.
Yeah. Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for being here. All right. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe below. As I may have mentioned before, Elizabeth Provoking is an intuitive counselor, and she's marvelous. So I will link her if you wanted to speak to Elizabeth regarding this or any of your own situations. She'd be more than willing to help. So I will link her website, and you can get in touch if you like. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll see you in a week or so. So thank you so much for watching. We appreciate having you, and have a lovely day.
Lots of love to everyone.